from another planet? Is Janet 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 from another planet?
TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Well, hello. Welcome to Team Shit Show 2.0. And my guest tonight is Bear.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello, Bear. Thank you for joining me tonight. I was very curious about when I heard that you were writing your own game. And and since I'm a new player, I haven't been playing, but maybe it's 8 months now. But it doesn't really seem that long because we only play every other week. You know what I mean? And then there's now another week in between those two games that I do get to play because he now has whatever the shift is where we can't play. So it's just hard for me to get into it, and still I haven't remembered exactly what all the dice are for, and all that stuff. So, but I love the fact that I get to think about what I want to do in my head, and what my character is going to do depending on what the other characters are doing. So to start off, I wanted you to introduce yourself and talk about what you do and everything on your channel, and then how you got into deciding to write your own game.
Okay. Hi, I'm Bear, Gen X GM. Though just Bear, you don't have to add the Gen X GM if you don't want to. I don't know. I started role playing when I was just a kid in high school, and it stayed with me all my life. Hang on, I got a cat I have to kill because he's being.
Oh, his baby girl.
No, they're boys. I would
never
have.
They're both boys. Okay, I'm sorry. They're so pretty.
I used to say I'd never have a female cat again, and now having two boys, I would love to have a female cat again because these guys are just, sleep for the last 3 years has been a treasure. So I got into it. I enjoyed it. I was in the film industry. I was doing lots of things with my life, very creative things, but it always was something I wanted to do was be a part of writing games, creating games, making products for games. And then I decided to do it. And I did. And it's happening. It's ongoing. We're still working on getting everything out and getting everything ready to go. But we are getting closer and closer and closer as we go day by day. I was just looking at some stuff today from the art team and the writing team, which is really nice. So what I did was I wrote the basic game, and then I handed it off to another writer, my friend April, who's a very, very good young adult writer. She writes young adult fiction. She does a very good job of that. So she's now taking the skeleton that I gave her, and she's putting muscles and skin and hair and all that on it and making it come to life with a little bit of guidance from me and all that sort of fun stuff. So it's sort of a thing. I love doing it, love being a part of it, and I don't care if it sells. I don't care if people rave with it or give it awards or talk smack about it and say it's garbage, because I did it for me.
That's good. That's the best stuff, I think. Most everything I've ever read and enjoyed, or music I listened to and things like that, you could tell it was heart in it. There was feelings behind it, because it just brings you into it. And then you can hear some things that you can tell, or watch a movie and you can tell it was just thrown together. There wasn't really anything in it besides thinking, hey, we're going to make this.
Yeah.
At least I feel like I can tell a difference. So like me, the longer I've been playing with Bruce as my GM, the more I feel like I can feel his passion for his game, not just the characters he comes up with, but the story behind all of it and how he wants us to move through the game. I feel like it comes across through the GM. But
Yeah.
the only experience I have is Bruce, so I have to describe by that.
Bruce is a good GM.
But just hanging out with you and some of the streams I've been able to, I can tell you're very passionate about what you're doing too. So I guarantee, without even talking to any of your players, that they absolutely love playing your games.
Well, I would hope so. I mean, I'm not gonna put my arm at a joint, patting myself on the back by any stretch of the imagination. I'm Canadian. We're not allowed to do that by royal decree from the Queen of England, where we have to be humble and polite. So I'll be humble and polite on this one. But they keep coming back, so I'll assume they're having a fun time.
Well, I already shared your YouTube channel in my chat, and I'm going to share it over on X. So anyone on X that's watching can follow you also on YouTube. And would like for you to talk about the way you're raising your money. I'm going to bring this up real quick. I want to share your screen. I want to share your YouTube channel really quick. I think it's really a nice channel that you have. It's very makes me want to laugh, you know what I mean? Because your facial expression stuff, it brings me in. It makes me find out more about you. I think it's a really good, the way you have it set up. It's really nice. And can I ask why you chose the name of your for Bear? Is that your nickname or?
So I was given the nickname Bear by a friend of mine who I immediately then dubbed Monkey because she was a pain in my ass who was always causing problems. And it just stuck. Mm-hmm. And I became Bear. And I'm okay. I'm all right.
No, I think it's great. I think it's a great name. It's very easy to remember. You don't know whether or not you're going to bite them or you're just going to hug them, At least with a name like Bear, I think it's great. But okay.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's I'm 6'3". I'm a very big boy. I was a bouncer. I was a bodyguard. I did private security for a lot of years as ways to pay my rent while pursuing my creative passions. I don't like being touched, and I do not suffer fools lightly, and I have no patience for bullshit. So, make of that what you will, but that's who I am. But I love the fact that a lot of people in this modern age have wondered, literally, oh, you're not gay? I thought because Bear, and I'm like, oh my God, like this whole idea
that at all.
No, but some people have, and I just love the fact that because the name has been co-opted by one segment of the gay community, it's now useless it's like rainbows. They're no good for anything else now. It's just like, come on, man, I'm not gay, but thank you for considering. I suppose. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, the family I grew up in with 4 sisters, we all hug. So you'd hate it being in the room with us.
I'm the lowest of 5. Okay. I'm the youngest of 5. And the other 4 are all girls.
Oh, okay. So you got hugged a lot then. That's probably why you don't like it so much.
Well, it's not, don't like what, being touched? No, I don't like being touched because of events that happened in my life involving violence as working in those fields. As for the female thing, well, I grew up backstage at the Woman Show, right?
Oh.
So I had 4 sisters, all older. I had aunts all around. My father was pretty absent. My grandfather died when I was very, very young. So I didn't have a lot of males around me growing up other than friends and, uncles and cousins. So I grew up at the Woman Show. Trust me, you guys are not a mystery to me. You're to most men, they're like, women are an enigma and a riddle, and I can't understand. Trust me, it's really simple. You just got to understand how, Mercury functions, and you'll be fine.
Well, I grew up with 4 sisters, and I can understand why they are the way they are. I can just think about my own way, the things that I do, and they don't agree with me most of the time. So.
Are you the youngest, the oldest, in the middle?
No, I'm the middle one.
Uh-oh.
I'm right in the center, so I got the brunt of both ends.
Marsha. Yeah, all right, I got it. Yeah.
That's where I'm at. But I just thought it was interesting listening to you talking about your characters, and you came up with each character in your game yourself, and then you had someone else draw what you wanted it to look like.
Yeah, so I made some comics a couple of years ago. I did 2 issues of a comic. I was going to do comics, but sadly, life got in the way. And when I was ready to come back, artists just wanted too much money. It just boiled down
Oh,
to the
yeah.
art was too expensive.
Mhm.
So I let it sort of lay fallow on the vine, or in the field, and I started doing a YouTube channel,
Mhm.
and managed to make a little bit of a success out of that. So I'm pretty happy about that. It's not a you know it's not an 800-pound gorilla or anything, but it's a 10-pound gorilla. It does quite well for itself. And then I started talking about stuff I wanted to do in gaming, and I got encouraged by the community, who I'm simulcasting to, so you might see some people that you don't normally see.
Mhm.
Well, they kind of encouraged me to go for it. So we did a backer kit. We raised our money, and
Mhm.
then the economic times we're living in hit. And sadly, the
Yeah.
money we raised from the backer kit is a great starting point for us to get the game out. But sadly, at the end of the day, I'm going to have to put a nice chunk of my own personal money into this to get it over the finish line, due to things like inflation and, changing staff and people quitting and other people coming in, but they cost more money, etc. But the one thing I've always done is, through the entirety of the crowdfunding and post, has been very open, clear, transparent with the backers. When we
Mhm.
started, I told them, I said, listen, it'll come out when it comes out. We're shooting for this date, but that's a movable target for us. And the other thing you have to keep in mind, because it's not my first rodeo for publishing, there will be problems that will turn up that can only be solved by throwing money at them. And that's the only way to
Mhm.
solve those problems. And that will slow down the process, because that's money that needs to be somewhere else now going there. So, and they've been really, really good about it. They've been very, very good about it. So it's
Well,
quite
that's
nice.
good. But the thing is, it's not, you're lucky because it's something you're passionate about and you're not in a rush. You know what I mean? To me, that's going to add subtlety, little, I don't know how to explain this exactly. It's going to have little things in it that no other game will have, simply because it's personalized, and each character has been able to have whatever amount of time it's taken for you to critique
Yes.
it exactly the way you want it. So many
Yes.
people don't have that. They're rushed into something, and all they do is fret over the mistakes they see in it later on. I think you're being less likely to see that
Well,
part because of the work you're getting to do.
Well, a lot of people are doing it because they just want to make money. And I'm telling you right now, you're never going to make money publishing role playing games. It's just not
Mm-mm.
an option. The money's not there. Wizards of the Coast eats up most of the money. And then Games Workshop eats up a chunk and all that. But I want to show you something, just because we're talking about that. This was something
Mhm.
that was shown to me today, and I'll just share it
Okay.
really fast. You can share, because my people are here too, so we'll share with everybody. This was just a piece of the art, not final art, but just a quick character sketch that came in today. And
Mhm.
my layout guy
Oh
was
my
like, "Hey,
God.
let's start showing you. This is what it would look like on the page. This is not final layout." But it was a really
Mhm.
nice thing to see. It was really like, man, that's cool. Like, I'm so glad to see that. That makes me feel really, really happy to see it coming to life in little steps like that. So
Mhm.
that's the kind of stuff we're doing right now. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of headaches.
Yeah,
It's
but
a lot of
man, that's
stress.
good. That's really good. So whoever is helping you do that, the drawing of that, is phenomenal. I think
I
I
wouldn't
can't
use
wait
the
to
word
see the whole
helping.
thing.
I'm paying him money. So
Well, I know, but still, the thing is he's doing it exactly the way you want it.
yeah, that's
So,
the point. Well, I have an
some
art director.
people think that's worth the money, and some people may not. But
I think
if I could pay someone to finish up some of the things that I'm working on, I don't know if I'd be able to get exactly what I would want out of it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'd be a little picky. So I'm just saying it from a writer's point of view. I don't
yeah.
write anything that has pictures, though. Mine is like screenplays and in a book. I'm writing a book, but it doesn't really have pictures. They're in my
That's a skill
head,
I don't
but I'm
have.
not putting pictures in it.
You have a
So
skill I don't have. I don't have the narrative fiction skill. I can't sit down and write narration. I've tried writing a novel 3 times, and all 3 times I gave up. I was like, this is annoying. I don't like
But the
this.
thing is, now a lot of people might get mad at me for saying this, is that I know a couple people that are, like in their late 60s, early 70s now, that have been writing poetry and, all different types of, a few song lyrics, things like that. And they've wanted to write a novel or a story that they've had since they were a kid. And they just said, I keep doing it. And I just get so depressed because I can't get it where I feel like it needs to be. And I said, well, today you now have AI to help you write it.
Yeah,
So,
no, it's true.
So the thing is, one of them was real happy about it. And I think they got, I don't remember the name of the app. I cannot remember it, but they got something to put on their computer to help them with that. Now, I haven't got to talk to her since, but the gentleman I talked to about, he wasn't happy with me. He said he would rather get a ghostwriter than to get use AI. So, I don't know. It's just some people are stuck in their ways and they don't want to use what we have now. It's available to us. And I haven't had to use anything like that yet. But if I ever got to a point where I felt like I was at my wit's end, I think I might try it. I mean, I don't know that much about it. I've just the little bits that I hear, on YouTube or on Rumble, and the people talking about it on X. That's all I know about it.
We are literally, they say within the next 5 years, we're going to see the first AI generated hit music, and we're less than 10 years away from the first number one AI generated hit song. AI is a tool like anything else. It's not okay. First of all, we have to start with the reality that it's not artificial intelligence. These things aren't thinking. They're algorithms. They're just going
I agree.
What they minimize to, this is the most likely outcome, right? So we keep that in mind. And as we know, the word, saboteur comes from the wooden shoe, the sabot, that they used to throw into the machines to try and break the machines during the Industrial Revolution. So people can rant and rave, and they can stand up and yell and cry foul and, collapse on their fainting couch and clutch their pearls and all fun stuff. But it's not going to change the fact that this is happening, whether we like it or not.
Yeah, you're 100%. The future is coming. It's going to slap you upside the head. So either you can open the door and let the breeze come in, or you can try to hold it shut until it blows you over. You know what I mean? Because it's coming. There's not much we can do about it. But I think it can help a lot of people. I have heard the debate about how everyone's going to quit being creative. They won't need people anymore because all the writing be done by AI and the music will be written by AI, all that. But I don't believe that will happen. I really believe that if it helps younger people come up with different ideas on how to use AI and more stories or more ways you can integrate music and stories together. I don't know. I think it's going to open a whole new world of talent that we don't even know about yet. Honestly, that's what I think.
Well, and here's the thing. Much like we have the organic food, we're going to have organic art in the future where people will be marketing their stuff based on written by a human, painted by a human, and that'll be fine. There'll always be a niche market. What we won't have is this overflow of mediocre talents trying to make money and charging what they think are professional rates for not professional work. I will never produce a product for sale on the open market using AI art in the current world that I've stated. I will use AI art to pathfind things, so that way I don't waste time with an artist going back and forth about, because they hate it, by the way. I don't know if you know anything about artists, but when they'll hate it. They'll be like, we'll maximum 2 turnarounds and that's it. You know what I mean? They'd rather just draw the piece, make their money, and move on to something else. So if you can use AI art to basically get everything you need done and then go, here, draw this, you're saving them time, you're saving yourself money, they're able to take on more projects, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a real net benefit to everyone for it. Sadly, some people are just going to, tilt at windmills and yell at clouds. That's what they do.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking about it. How old were you when you first realized that you wanted to do role-playing games? I mean, because you played it before you decided you wanted to be a GM, right?
Yeah, I started as a player in grade 9, so 1985. And within less than a year, I was a GM. Now that happened because
you progressed really quickly.
Yeah, that wasn't on purpose. That wasn't by design. It was by need. Basically, we had a group. We had a GM. He was our always GM. And then
Mhm.
one day, he and one of the other players had a massive hissy fit, and he canceled our game, and la 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 la. And we all still wanted to play together. So I went, all right, I'll GM, guys. I don't know if I'm any good at it, but let's go. And we did.
Mhm.
And I learned, and I got better. I had a lot of practice. And then eventually, I just became what they call a forever DM, which was I'm not a player anymore. I just GM. Now, occasionally I play. I like when I get to play, but I don't seek it. You know what I mean?
So you're rare then, because I have talked to a lot of people in lots of different states, in different age levels, some in the military, some not, just depending on different things. And most all of them said that they were GM once and they didn't like it.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's
So,
not for everybody.
yeah.
Thankless
So
job.
I know I like to write, but I don't think I could do watching. I've watched you a little bit. I've watched Sean. I've watched a few other people,
Yeah.
and then Bruce. That's all it's the only thing that I have. But getting to sit and watch, okay, to me is important, because it's really helping me understand the levels of each of the players and their differences in the way they think about the answers for each of the things that are happening, and watching the GM and how they handle. And some of them, it seems to push people in one way, and then others just sit there. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think it's very interesting to see the difference in the way the GMs each handled each of their games. I
Well,
think it's
everybody has
very
a style.
intriguing.
Everybody has a style. Everybody does what they think the way is the best for them. We can argue and debate, and you will see it often in our nerd channels. We will argue and debate about what's the best way to do things. And I piss everybody off because I refuse to accept that there is a one true way. I refuse to accept that there is a one true game, and I refuse to accept that if you're having a good time, you're wrong. If you guys are having fun, you're not doing anything wrong. If your group's playing, having a good time, everybody's laughing, playing, having fun, rolling dice, they keep showing up to the game, you're doing it right. And that's all that matters. And having someone else go, well, actually, the DM is supposed to, no.
Well, I
Yeah.
100% agree with you, because how good is a game if nobody wants to come and play it? That's common sense. At least that's what I would think.
Common sense
So,
is a superpower these days, Janet.
I know I've heard you say that before, but it's sad though, but it's true. At least that's the way I lean. And I haven't been doing it for a long time now. I've wanted to play since I was young, but I just never had the opportunity. And it was just really weird the whole way this whole thing unfolded with Bruce and I, and
Yeah.
it just happened. And I was just constantly telling him, "Oh my God, I don't know what to do." I'm just so thankful for you to give me the opportunity. And I felt bad because I felt like I was slowing down the game when he first added me, because the other players were so high, in their rankings. And I was, I had a higher level than I should have had, I think, because I didn't have a clue what I was supposed to be doing. But I'm
That's the
still
fun.
learning.
That's the
Yeah,
fun.
to me, it's fun. I'm
Learning how to
loving
play.
it.
Dive in. The
So-
water's fine,
Yeah. And the thing is though, can you tell me a little bit about how you came up with the concept of the story that you're wanting to tell and your characters and stuff, if you don't mind?
Okay, well, so there's there's a lot of stories, but for the superhero stuff specifically, it's the Zenith Comics universe, which is my universe, which I've been growing and building and working on since I was a teenager. Because I always wanted to. I love superheroes, American mythology at its finest. Specifically, what they call the Bronze Age, which is between 1970 and 1985. Those are still some of the best comics ever written. So I've just been building that up over the years, and now I'm just sitting on vast amounts of characters and story ideas and setting points. So now I'm going just to bring them all to life slowly through the publishing of this whole thing. My Patreon is where I put a lot of this stuff, and my patrons.
Yeah, I'm going to bring that up in a
They've
second.
got, they're. I put up 10 characters a week, 5 villains, 5 heroes for them, and they're always really, really, really happy to have that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I mean, it just all comes from my head. Like literally, okay, why was I late tonight? Why was the show late tonight? Because I was writing. And I got to that point in writing where you completely forget that the world exists.
Mhm.
And then you look up and go, oh shit, I had places to be. Now, I will give you something to show you why. It's just a quick visual aid that a bunch of my people have already seen. I'm working on another game now already since Heroic is now out of my hands. I'm just saying yes, no to stuff where other people are
Mhm.
working on it. So I need something creative. So I'm
Well, I
working on
was going to show everybody your Patreon real quick.
Okay, go right ahead.
This is it, and I will share the link, quite a few times. And if you want to talk to Bear about it, you can. I'm sure if you post something on his YouTube channel or whatever, he'll be happy to, get back with you if you're
Always
interested.
happy.
Yeah.
So if you follow Heroic, and you can get the beta playtest for free on Drive-Thru RPG, stuff like that. All the characters and stuff I'm putting up on the Patreon. It's villains and heroes you can use in your games. It's alternate rules. It's lore for the
quite
setting.
a bit on here.
Oh yeah. Oh,
This is a lot of information.
Hundreds.
Yeah. So that's
Tons.
great because that's what people want when they're putting some money in once a month. They want to see something new, every month or every week or whenever. So yeah, this is really, really nice. This is very professional looking. It's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. It's very, very intriguing. It makes me want to dive in and see what's in here. But
Nice.
I will share this in the chat so that other people can hopefully go check it out.
You want to come by? Come on by,
more.
check it out. And if you
So,
want to
yeah,
sample it,
great.
look, if you need to pick up Heroic, you can get it for free on Drive-Thru RPG. The last playtest version, we're now in production. Patrons and backers get the production update. So there'll be another production update going out this month to the patrons and the backers. So you'll be able to play the game as it is currently establishing and fun stuff like that. But the thing so I got late today because I'm working on another project. Heroic has found its own feet. So I'm working on a fantasy role-playing game called MythQuest, which is loosely based on RuneQuest and Mithras and all these games from Chaosium. And I decided to make a setting for it, which I'm calling the Warlords of Mu, which is basically a sword and sorcery setting. So I was working on my setting tonight when I got sort of swept in. And this is just a mock-up cover I made for it using Photoshop and some AI art and what have you. And it's just a proof of concept and all that sort of fun thing.
Yeah.
Will it ever come out? Who knows? Will I use it for my own players? Absolutely. But this is why I was late. So I do apologize for being late, but we're here now and we're talking and having fun.
Yep. But the thing is that, everybody has to do it in their own way. You know what I mean? So there really isn't a wrong way to do anything. As long as you're going forward, even if it's slow, you're doing it the right way. You're getting something accomplished. And you shouldn't ever stop doing it because somebody doesn't agree with the way you're doing it. If it's your project or your idea, you have to just have faith in what it is that you've been working on for yourself. Yes. And I wish more people would do that. It's just that so many people get deterred because of bullying. Basically, oh, that's ugly color. Why did you choose that? Or why did you want it to have blonde hair? Or why did you put that in there? Think all that. They always have something negative. But then I just say this: what are you doing?
Well, and this is the thing, right? I mean, there's no end of advice that people will give you when you've got a project. And the thing is if you lack what confidence you bring to the table that got you started in the first place, you're going to listen to their advice. And I've been there too. I've let advice derail my projects or take me down wrong holes. And it's a shitty feeling when you watch your project fall apart and then you realize I knew what I wanted to do originally and I let other people tell me what to do. I will listen to anybody's ideas. They have suggestions. That's great. Maybe I'll get a good idea out of it. But overall, if I know what I want to do, I'm now at the point in my creative stance where I'm like, well, that's nice, and you should do that. If you think that's a good idea, you should go do that. But I'm doing this over here. Because the one thing I learned in the film industry and in a lot of other things, do what pleases you and the audience will find you. Do what you want. Make it for yourself and the audience will find you. If you start making it for everybody else, you will never please anybody. Right? You'll just screw it all up and it'll become not great. So make it for yourself and people who like what you do will come. Build it, and they will come. Right? That's the message, and I think more people need to do that because it'll make them a lot happier than to have people go, well, I wouldn't do that. I'd rather if it was, well, then you go do that, buddy. Thank you, King Eric. I appreciate that. And thank you, Willie Winky Wonky Woo. I don't know that. But, do what you think is best and what you think is good, and do what makes your little geek heart sing. Fly your freak flag, whatever blows your hair back, and you're going to be happy. And then people will come along and they'll see the work and they'll go, wow, there's a lot of passion in this. And I never thought I wanted to see this happen, or I never wanted to see that. But now that I've seen it, wow, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to ask you about you're going to write a manual and everything too for how to run their games, or suggestions on what to do. Because one of the things that I thought I heard you guys talking about it in one of the different live streams I was watching, and I can't tell you exactly which one it was, but I wrote it down as a note, and it was how will you handle the conflicts and disagreements with your groups? And how did that affect what you're going to put into your gaming rules and stuff?
So in the rules, I do not tell you how to run your table. There's a lot of stuff. There's powers, there's abilities in the game that could be potentially exploited by crafty players to generate something that's going to be very in their favor, maybe overpowered. Okay, that's nice. And well, you should change that in the rules. You should say you can't do this. No, why would I do that? I'm not going to tell you how to run your table. If you as a storyteller are running a game where people love to do that kind of stuff, have at it. Have a good time. I'm not here to tell you how to do it right or wrong, man. Come on. And if you're smart enough to catch it, you can house rule your own thing to say, yeah, that's a little abusive. I'm going to stop you from doing that thing. And that's fine. And that's okay. I'm not a big fan of policing other people's tables. I'm not a big fan of people trying to tell you how to play games. Do what makes you happy. As long as you're not hurting anyone, it's all good.
Yeah, I think so. That's how I think you should play it, the way you feel your table should play, because you as a GM, you're the one that knows your people.
Yeah.
You know what makes this person tick or what that person ticks, because how can you not, after watching them play a character in front of you and interact with the other characters and the way they interact with each other, especially if you have them live in front of you. I would think the GM would know the best direction for everybody to go.
Well, they do and they don't. I mean, sometimes the players will take you in directions you never thought of, and it's even more fun when you do. But when role-playing, despite what people will tell you, and I spent 20 years in the film industry, and people will lie to you, and they will say, oh, no, this character is completely different from me. Well, no, it's not, Bob, because somewhere in that character there is a piece of you, and that's what makes it resonate. Well, you'll see the same thing in role-playing. People will play characters that they will swear up and down are not them, but it might touch some part of their psyche or some dark recess of their brain, and that's what's bringing it to life and making it so memorable, right? So the more time you spend with your players, the more of their personalities you should be getting to know, and the more of your personality they should be getting to know. And as a result, yeah, look, there are people who shouldn't play together. It happens. And there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I like you, Janet, but this game you're running, not for me. I'm going to sit this one out. Thanks anyway. And then you, as Janet, have to have the maturity to go, okay, cool, Bear. Well, next time I run one, I'll let you know. Or if you're going to run something, let me know. But otherwise, let's go for a coffee next week. Sure, sounds great.
Yeah.
And not take it personally. Not take it as
that's part of the problem I see in everyday life with everyone. But before I say anything else, I wanted you to see what Winky Wanky Woo said. Can you ask him what systems it's based on?
Way back in the olden days of the 1980s, there was a game called Marvel Superheroes created by TSR. And this is a clone of that game with some updates. I use the term neo-clone, which a writer named Justin Halliday from Australia first coined for his game, Heroes Against Darkness. And I think it's a great thing. So a retro clone is when they just remake the game for you to use. A neo-clone is when they take the old game and then they start adding new rules, fixing things, changing things, adapting things, or making things differently. So it becomes, yes, it's still that game, but it's got a whole new life ahead of it. And that's what I'm doing with this.
Great.
Oh,
And
I
then
can
there's
grab the original off the shelf and show it to you if you'd like.
no, that's all right. But I'm going to try to keep sharing some of this in here that the people are saying. Some
No worries.
questions in here, real quick.
Oh, Nerd's here. Uh-oh. Now we're in trouble.
Who's in here?
Nerd. Look
Oh,
out.
okay.
She's
But
up to no good.
yeah, and here's one. It's a question for Janet. What was your first RPG? Well, the one that I'm playing right now with Bruce, there's two of them. Was the first one is the one where I'm playing a cleric, and I now have a cohort, and she is a tiger, and she's helping me, keeps me from dying while I can try to perform spells. So it's been fun. Now, the second one is a game that Bruce is writing himself. And it's like I was talking about at the very beginning, we play one game one week and then we play the other one the next weekend. So it's like every 2 weeks where I get to play different games. So it's trying to keep my two characters from getting mixed up. I have 2 notebooks and I just try to write as many notes as I can. And I ask so many questions and I hope that it doesn't really irritate too many people, but I do. I do ask lots of questions, and I always bring things out and I've caused a few little arguments because like one of the scenes, there was a duck in the bar and he was playing music and speaking to people. And I was looking at my group and I said, don't any of you guys think this is bizarre that we have a talking duck in the bar? So, I'm always bringing stuff out like that because I'm like, something is standing out. It has to be a reason why we're being confronted by a talking duck. I mean, we should be asking some questions. So I do stuff like that all the time. I'm very analytical about, just some things, and then other things go right over my head, especially when it's has to do with like espionage or things like that. It's like it's going to be harder for me to get in there because I guess, like you said, you can only play a character with your knowledge that you have already in you. You know what I mean?
It's hard to
just make something be there that isn't there. So you have to learn it as you go along. And that's what's so great about getting to play with all the different people is to be able to learn more about how to play your character by using something you've learned from someone else. And that's why I love it, because it's never the same game. It's different.
It never is.
And that's why it was so intriguing getting to watch how you play compared to Bruce, because you two basically are my first 2 experiences of watching a actual GM doing anything, besides a movie. And a movie is nothing compared to real life, honestly. But it's great that people were watching, what was it, Stranger Things?
Yep.
And the whole thing started getting more and more, because once I started playing, and I do it live on X, I've had a lot of people asking me lots of questions and asking, hey, what do I do? How do I get onto it? And I told them just to go on YouTube and start searching and watching other people play games, and then see if they need a player.
There's a massive whole community out there waiting for people to come play, man.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a GM out there that is just, he didn't know he was waiting for you as a player, and you didn't know you were waiting for him as a GM, but hopefully you'll find each other.
But has there been any time that you've been a GM where something happened during the game between the characters or something, and it shocked you, and you had to improvise and make up for whatever it is that they did because you weren't expecting it to happen? That was one of the questions I wanted to ask you.
That would be every damn game I've ever run ever.
For real?
Oh,
So
yeah.
I just never thought. I thought basically it seemed like, now I don't know, I haven't got to ask Bruce about it, that it seemed like you had all these different scenarios. This could happen if I did this. This is what they might do, or they might do this. So you have like 2 different routes to go or something like that. See, that's what I'm saying. I don't really know that much about.
No. I react to them. So Neil Gaiman, many moons ago, I read an article where someone asked him about how he plots and writes a book, and he said, I treat it like a vacation. I know the places I want to go see, but how I get to them, that's the adventure. And so for me, I know the moments I'm going to have happen in a game. I know what the villains are doing. I know this, I know that. But how we get to those moments, or if we get to those moments, wow, that's up to the players. And I have to react to them. And there was a story I've told before, and I'll tell it again, which is I was running a game that was a really intense game, very serious game. And my buddy was playing the wizard of the group, and they met the bad guy. Yes, Bruce runs Pathfinder in his own game, yeah. And they met the bad guy, and my buddy started role-playing, talking to the bad guy. And I, in the middle of having the bad guy talking to him, went, wait, what? As the bad guy. I was so into the character, and what he said was so dumb. The bad guy was like, it suddenly turned into an episode of Buffy. What? You? You're the guy that I have to... You? Come on, no. And like, it was a really funny session. It killed the campaign, because when they all finally got out of the situation, the rest of the party were like, well, look, we're not following you anymore because you're a dummy. And they all went their own ways, and it killed the game. But it's hilarious. We still play together as friends. We still talk about that moment. But that's the beauty of role-playing. Movies, television, books, comics, radio plays, they all have a script that they're following.
Yeah.
Well, role-playing is live improv. You're making it up as you go. And that's the secret, is to just be flexible, be chill, and just have fun. Have as much fun as you can. Don't worry about it. Don't stress it. People put too much importance on it.
That's what people, what's funny is, like, my sisters, none of them will have ever played anything like this. And I've had a couple of them have dropped in and said hi to everybody and stuff and watched for a little while. And they said that one of them said it was the weirdest thing they'd ever seen. And the other one said it was so boring that there's no way they could sit and do that all day. But what's for me is, when I'm done at the end of the day, for the next week, I'm thinking about, what am I going to do next, my next game. I don't know. To me, it's not boring at all.
It's boring to watch. That's the problem.
Fun.
But here's the thing: it's boring to watch.
I don't think it's boring. I've sat and watched other people play, and I don't think it's boring.
You are not a barometer of the average human. You're a pretty dynamic person. You've worked in productions, you've worked in art, you've worked in presentation. So you see things that normal people aren't going to see. But for normal people, they watch a role-playing game, they go, what the hell is this? This looks so dumb. But you get them to sit down at the table. And the first time they roll those dice, it's a different experience completely. Now they're invested in it. Now they are part of the story. And once you get people to the point where they're part of the story, something changes in their head. So that whole thing, childhood comes back to them in one flash of playing make-believe, playing dress-up, playing tea party with their dolls, or whatever it is they did. Suddenly that comes back, and I've rarely see someone play and go and really enjoy it and let themselves into it, walk away from it. I've seen people not be afraid to embarrass themselves, be afraid to look silly, and as a result of that, they put up all the barriers and shields and walls they can. But if you get past your ego, you can have a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Well, I don't.
And it's cheaper than below. So.
Well, the thing is that I've always wanted to do it. I didn't know for sure whether I'd be able to, or be even good at it or anything like that. But I just like the whole imagination part of it. I don't know if that makes any sense. Getting to use my imagination and pretend that I'm somewhere I'm never going to ever go. It's almost like getting to go into your dream. There was a movie, and I think it was a story by Stephen King, and it was a dream catcher or something like that. And the guy had the file cabinet in his head and the door, and he'd go in and he'd look out the peephole of the window, and he would open and close the file cabinet and do stuff where the alien couldn't get into. It was like a little locked safe room or something. And that's almost how I think about it. I try to explain it to other people about what it's like to play and how I think about what I'm going to do next in the game. And that's the only thing I can think of, is that, like, I'm in there digging around saying, what do I have in here that I can use to help me win at this, or to help me come up with a way to get around something or whatever, And I know it sounds really weird, but I can help it. I try to be as honest as I can with other people when I'm explaining my feelings about getting to play. And you're right. It is rare. You don't. I was just so happy when I found this group of people on YouTube that accepted me because I liked Star Trek and I love talking about comic books and I like all these things, and I could fit in, and to read the chat and everyone's doing it and you're a part of it. It's like you're accepted into something that no one else can understand, and that you're finally in a group of people that know who you are. I don't know if that resonates.
You're joining a nerd family essentially, and it's fun.
Yeah, and I love it. I can't think of any place else I want to be besides with these people, and it hurts sometimes when I get in there and I can't find anyone, because everybody has a real life. And I know it's the same thing for me because I have to, mow my yard, do my laundry, go shopping, go to work, do all the different things, and everyone else has to do that. So, but it's nice to have a group of people that you feel like you can be yourself around, and they're not behind you going, oh my God, you see what they're doing over there, that type of stuff.
You've come to it at an interesting point in your life. I mean, that's the thing, right? You're already a mature adult. Most of us found it when we were immature teenagers, and there was lots of that.
Yeah,
there was a lot of that back in the day. But as you get older,
I had that happen to me when I was a teenager.
Right. So it's everywhere. That's the thing you need to understand, right? It's part of everything. It's not like, oh, it's never, we're such a tight knit group of people who always look. No. There are jerks in our group, and there are personality conflicts and ego squabbles and tribalism and all sorts of negative things. Oh. But at the end of the day, we can all still have a good time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's the truth. So, so where do you think you're going to go after you're finished with this game?
Well, I've already got MythQuest coming, so I've already got my next project, what I call my winter project. I'm already on that. I don't know. I've got supplemental material to produce for Heroic. I've got ideas. I'd love to start writing comics again. That would make me so happy in producing comics. I've got an artist in Italy while his style is not matching what I like, he's very enthusiastic and he's very good at producing. So we might work together anyway, just for fun, and do a fantasy barbarian comic or something, because he's good for that style. But yeah, I just keep plugging away, man. I'm 54. I got to have something hit and make me some money soon, or I'm going to be a very, very, very old working person, and I don't want to be.
I wish there was something I could do to help boost you. You know what I mean? Help you find the right person. That you need, the one thing that might just snap and make things work. You know what I mean? I'm always thinking that way. What can I do for this person and help them?
I appreciate that.
Get somewhere.
It'll happen.
So,
look, I have no doubt one of two things is going to happen. I'm either going to hit and something will take off and it'll become big enough that I can live doing it, or I'll be discovered after I'm dead. Hey.
Well, that's what happens to most of us when they're going through all our belongings. They're all going, hey, look at this. What's that? Hey, you want this? You want this? Or whatever. Yeah. So, yeah. It is it's very frustrating though, but it's nice to see someone that enjoys what you do. You know what I mean? You're doing it and you're enjoying it, and you get to hang out with your friends and talk about things that you enjoy on your show, and people want to come to your channel and subscribe to you and do the same thing you're wanting to share with them, and they're enjoying it. How lucky are we? You know what I mean? I know we're not making a lot of money, and I wish that I'm not making any money at it at all. But I wish that all the people that I see that are doing this and bringing joy to other people just by enjoying something, I wish all of them could somehow, hit it big somehow and make money doing it, more money. Because it's funny, it's because it seems like more and more people are wanting to become a nerd, because being a nerd is now cool.
I don't think it's wanting to become a nerd. It's remembering when they were a nerd before their sexual peak hit or their adolescence hit, and suddenly they found different things to be cool. The obsession with being cool hit, right? And being a nerd was not cool, except I got to come up in the 80s. So I was at the exact right age for movies like, Revenge of the Nerds or My Science Project or Real Genius or whatever the case may be. So I was taught to go, hey, if you're having fun, you're not hurting anybody, go for it.
Yeah.
Now, years later, I'm working in a bar and I'm talking to the other bouncers, and suddenly Dungeons and Dragons comes up, and I find out that there's a whole bouncer game going on, and like all these big meaty guys, and we're all, oh yeah, I play a cleric, I play a thief, oh yeah, it was really funny for us,
There you go.
Yeah, the Codex Albana game is something else. That's a special game. I really have a deep love for that game. That's a once-a-month game that we haven't played since June.
Well, tell everybody that doesn't know what it is. Explain it to them.
So I have a fantasy world I created called the West, and in the West there is an island nation called Albana, and there's a prophecy called the Pendrick Cycle. And the heroes of the story are currently involved in a Pendrick cycle. It's very Arthurian. It's very much that style of stuff. And we're having a real blast. We play it once a month, and we all stream it on all our channels. So it's like a YouTuber game, and it's a lot of fun. We have a really good time with that. Every other Friday, I run a heroic game on my channel. Alternate Fridays, I'm going to be running, starting towards the end of the month, a Buffy the Vampire Slayer Wild West game. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow, that sounds very interesting.
And sorry, King Eric, that's what God voted over Battlestar Galactica, so we're doing that instead. Sorry, man. I know you're looking forward to BSG, but that's life. I have a alternate Monday fantasy game that's coming back at the end of the month. And I have every other Thursday, we do a bare bones fantasy game, which is kind of fun too. We're playing that in the actual D&D setting of the Nentir Vale, which was from 4th edition. And fun stuff,
That sounds great. Sounds like you're very busy over there.
I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I'm currently not dating anyone. I am poor because we live in this economy, and I have 2 cats. What the fuck else am I going to do, right? Might as well run
your
games.
Cats at least keep you busy because they seem like they just adore you. Every time I watch you, they're wanting to climb on you and just hang out with you. So that's nice. That's a nice thing to have, is to have somebody that's looking forward to you. Every time I go out my front door and go to my car, my chickens all come running thinking they're going to get a snack. So
that's the thing. They don't care about me. They just want food.
Okay, well, it's nice to see that somebody wants you or needs you around. So that's important.
Well, that's true.
Everybody's life. So, but at least yours are soft and you can snuggle them and stuff. I can't really do that with chickens. So, but they do lay me eggs. I do have that.
Adina wants me to tell the story about how Misty got his name, but you got to spell it right first, Adina, or I'm not telling the story. It's MYSTIE, like as in that. So Misty, okay, so I got these 2. My cat died, and I was sad. And then a buddy of mine who's a trucker was like, hey, these 2 cats are for adoption. You should get 2. They're brothers. And I looked at them, and they were adorable little black things. And I'm like, okay, maybe. I don't know. He's like, I'll pay the adoption fee. You're getting these cats. I'm like, all right, fine. I'm getting these cats. 2 boys. That'll be cheap.
Oh.
Take them to their first checkup. And Misty, the little fluffy one, the vet goes, this is a girl. I went, what do you mean this is a girl? There's no testicles. There are no testicles. We look, there are no testicles. We're like, holy crap. Okay, I guess it's a girl. Month and a half later, take them back for their second checkup, different vet. And I'm like, just, we have a boy and a girl. I said, yep. She goes, no, you have 2 boys. And she goes, look, and we look, and now there's testicles. We're like, what the fuck? So that was the day I decided my cat was a gender fluid, non-binary cat, which is fine. And became Misty because Misty, missing testicles, Misty. Take him to get them fixed at whatever age, 6, 8 months, whatever it is when you get them fixed. And I come back to pick them up from the clinic, and I'm like, how'd it go? They said, everything with Beans was fine, but we got to charge you an extra $50 for Misty. Why? His testicles never dropped, so we had to open him up like a female and go in and get the testicles out. I'm like, oh, so now he's a trans cat. So I have a gender fluid, non-binary trans cat named Misty who lives in my house, and he's very pretty.
That is amazing, though. How many people? I bet that's really rare.
It's weird. It was a weird situation. Because you
what
can't
did
believe
the vet say? Did the vet say that was very common?
No, it's not. It happens enough that they know about it, but it's not common. But it does happen.
It's just very interesting.
Right.
But they love you. I can tell you that because I have seen them many times, and they just adore you. So
Yeah,
you're a lucky guy.
yeah. Sadly, the adorations often you can barely see it now. The adoration sometimes leads to
Yeah, I see a
scars.
little scratch right there.
Yeah, that was a big purple scar because they
Well,
were
who
sleeping.
did that?
Beans. We were sleeping. We were all asleep. It was middle of the night, and Misty, the lump that he is, decided he wanted to sleep where the fan was, so he knocked the fan over at 3 a.m. Beans was snuggled up beside me, so when the fan hit the floor, he woke up in a panic and shot off, and his back claw just went, and it woke me up. So I woke up bleeding, like what the hell, Oh, yeah. Cats, what a treat. Well, I love them. I'll keep them up. I'll take care of them until they die.
But he said pronouns. I thought that was cute.
Pronouns. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robin. Robin's someone I've role played with since college. He's actually he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Got for dogs and cats, all of them lovable but terminally derped. Well, not entirely sure about the cat, but he hasn't swallowed my soul, so there's that. I guess it loves me for the time being. Yeah, well, a dog will protect your body and sleep on your grave. A cat will eventually eat your cheeks and eyeballs. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, I've seen that on TV. I've seen that a couple times where the person passed away and the kitty had a couple nibbles because they were hungry because there was nobody there to feed them and take care of them. But well, I really hope that your game does take off once you're able to, get it finished to where you can actually put parts and pieces out for people to pick and choose, right? That's what they'll do. They'll go through and say, I want these 3 heroes and this, or these 2 characters and these 2 characters and things like that. And they'll purchase it from you, and then they'll purchase the actual different games that they can use their characters.
Well, they can, but they'll have to convert them because I make them for my game, not for the other games, which happens. But that's
I thought you said you had multiple games on there.
No. I just have my game. My game. Heroic.
Well, that's what I mean. You didn't write multiple ones?
Not for superheroes. I wrote just Heroic. And now I'm working on MythQuest, so that's my new one. But
that's where I got it mixed up. I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's all right.
But that's very cool. The fact that they can come on and see, that's one of the things I did suggest to Bruce, but I don't know if he'll be able to do it because you see his desk is always covered with all those little figurines, right, that he's going to paint and fix up and stuff. So I told him, I said, if it was me, whenever you finish your game, you can sell your game, but they can purchase actual characters from you to use on their tabletop game to play with, and maybe other things that they might need depending on what it is that you have. And that way you can make a few dollars, and they get a hand painted characters from the person who wrote the game for them. See what I mean? Something different like that to help them market that, but I don't know if you'll be able to part with it.
That's different. I don't do miniatures. I never got that bug, so I'm okay with. But I have tons of characters on my Patreon for you. You can use them in your games. We're going to be producing adventures. We've already got 2 that are almost in the final stages of being written. We got a 3rd one coming. We're going to have roster books. Heroic has life and leg ahead of it. We got 12 different adventures we're going to publish eventually. So there's tons of stuff available for that. Not a worry. And again, if we, if the backer kit was our lion's share and there were no other sales, c'est la vie. Coco by Grom, 'tis gnarly.
Yeah, that is, the thing is that just finishing it and getting to see it finished after you've had it in here for so long, that is like, phenomenal. See, I'm almost finished with my book. It's almost like I've got the ending done, and I got this part, and I got to just get that to the end, put it together, and I already know in my head what it is. I just got to get it and put it on the paper. And I understand when you get into that where you're zoned out and you're just going to town writing down stuff. It's hard to stay in that mode. And once you're in it, you don't want to leave because now you got to reprogram yourself again to get right back into where you were at the moment you left. I know how hard that is. So that's a lot of work.
Well,
So,
in this case, it was my bladder that reminded me. I got to go to the
well,
bathroom and
that's
look at the
nature
clock,
then.
and I was like, "Oh, damn, I'm late." Uh-oh.
Yeah. No, it's all right. It wasn't that late. And plus, I'm little and,
You're not
I
little.
just do
No.
it. Well, I'm a little channel, but the thing is I'm doing it for the same reason you are. I'm doing it because I do what I want. You see what I mean? I talk about what I want. I get in trouble a lot because I do use a lot of politics and stuff in some of my shows, and YouTube doesn't like me because of it.
I've
So,
seen a couple of your shit shows with the politics, and I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not there because I
yeah,
got thoughts.
yeah. The thing is that I've had a few of them taken down because one or two of us would go over what they didn't want us to talk about. And last week I did my show tonight, my Thursday night show, and only did it on Rumble and X because I knew YouTube would probably say, "Yeah, we don't like you. You can't
Yeah.
have it." And the thing that scares me now is that I like Janet from Another Planet. That's my nickname. I've had that for a long time, and the fact that I might never get that back because they take my channel completely down, that I have a warning right now. Okay, so until I think it was October 10th. So until October 10th, I have a warning, and I'll get another one, and then I'll be gone.
Really?
Yeah, they said that you get a warning, and then you get a second warning, and they take you down for so many weeks or something, and then if you do it again, it's gone. Your channel's gone. At least that's what they told me in my emails. So,
Wow.
so I'm trying to be good, but I can't help it. I'm very passionate, and it gets me in trouble. But at least I have X, because I can go to X and I can rant and rant and rant so far, and I haven't lost my, they haven't kicked me off. So I've been,
Seriously, like between X and Rumble, it's like Eastern Europe after communism fell. You can do anything.
yeah, pretty much. And that's what I'm trying to do is just I'm just being myself, doing the best I can to be good, and not, and I don't think I'm bad at all. I'm just very opinionated, and I like to have other people on my show that are opinionated, and I don't want them to always agree with me because that's boring, and you don't get facts. You know what I mean? I'm willing to listen to other people's point of view because I want to be able to find out what's the truth,
Yeah.
And you can't do that if you're all the same. Nope, I can't hear you. Nah, nah, nah. If you do, and I have relatives like that, and I don't know how you live.
Friends like that.
So it's like, it's crazy. But the thing is that it's just nice to be around other people that accept you for who you are and know that you're not perfect and don't expect you to be perfect. You know what I mean? I like that.
And
like
you
friends like
really
that.
should. Like, I'm very disappointed with the way our world has turned. I'm very disappointed with the tribalism that we're seeing. I'm very disappointed with the fact that no one's listening to anybody. They're all just like, ah, la, 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 la. My person won the debate. Well, no, they didn't, because nobody won that debate. In fact, we all lost by it occurring. But there's still people out there fighting and arguing and trying to beat each other up. And I don't understand where this happened, but it happened. And now we're living through it. And I'm really hoping we're going to come out of it on the other side because it's just sad. The one nice thing about role players is if you just leave out sex, politics, and religion, we're all just going to get along and talk and argue about dice, right?
Yeah.
But the minute you someone starts in their stuff, boy, the arguments fly.
Yeah. But the thing is, in a way, it's kind of good for us to have some arguments because how boring is life if we all had the same thoughts, or if we were all the same. I love the fact that I like different music. I got an argument one day on, not really an argument, but we kind of like bickering back and forth because I was on a space and we were playing music in there, and I would request a song, and then they said, how can you possibly like that kind of song? You're too old to like that music. And I said, well, you don't know how old I am. And what difference does it make? Everyone likes different music, and I can't help it if I like this music. If I like this song, what's wrong with me liking this song? I don't make fun of you or say anything bad about the music you choose. It was just a dumb argument. But the thing is, I try to encourage people to be themselves. If you like something, enjoy doing it. Enjoy reading what you like to read. If you like dressing up in costumes and going to cons, what's wrong with that? What does it hurt?
Have fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Life's this long. If you think about it, as long as time has been around, us little specks that get to be human on this planet for a very short amount of time, it's not even a blip in time. And the little bit of time that you get to be here, if you can enjoy half of the days of your life, let's say you're 100 when you die. If you can enjoy 50 years out of those 100 and actually have laughs and love and romance and learn and make things and leave a mark, on this planet through whatever it is that you did, that should be what people would want instead of just existing in your life.
You said you're a Star Trek fan, right?
Do what?
You said you're a Star Trek fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have my cup. It's over there, the one that I have for that. But you know what the IDIC is?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the symbol that the Vulcans all have. It's the circle with the triangle, the IDIC, which stands for Infinite Diversity and Infinite Combinations.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Infinite diversity in infinite combinations. What a fantastic idea. How about we embrace a little bit more of that and a little less?
I wish more people would. The thing is, I think we're making a difference in lots of people's lives, because when a person's going through YouTube and they see your channel and they start to look at it and they click on some of your shorts or some of your other videos and start to watch it, and then they subscribe, okay, you offered them something that they weren't finding anywhere else. You know what I mean? So you've made a difference in someone's life without even realizing it. By just being you've attracted another person into your life. I think that's awesome. And it's sad that so many people don't even find that out.
Well, that's what my Discord's all about. My Discord, we call it the Society of Role-Playing Gamers, the TSRPG. Mm-hmm. And the idea is that everyone is welcome. Don't be an asshat, and treat everybody with respect. And I often have to tell a lot of people that I know from some of the more edgy sides, this ain't your edgeless place. We have people of every gender identity, every sexual orientation, every religion, every race that hang out in that group. You will leave your toxic shit somewhere else, please. Mm-hmm. This is not the place for it. We're trying to have something where we can all just get along, support each other, and have fun. And it's very important.
Be who you are.
Yeah.
Be yourself.
Now, I'm not going to use some ridiculous thing like we created a safe space. It's not a safe space because we'll tell each other to go fuck themselves, right? Like we don't mind that. But what we don't do is I'm in a couple of other places. Yeah, Australia doesn't exist, Serapis, we're going to say. I've seen some of the other places I hang out. Oh my God. It's toxic, some of the stuff that they get on about. And it's just like, why? Why do you have to be like this? Why do you need to be so negative about the world? Just let it go. Stop paying attention to it. Stop feeding it with energy, and it will die. But the more you pay attention to it, the longer it's going to live. And it's weird. It's just weird. May God touch you and bless you all. Good night. All right. Well, good night.
Good night.
I don't want to be touched by an angel. Thank you. That sounds creepy, and I'd have to show someone on the bear. This is where the angel touched me. But that's okay. You do you. And that's our motto on my channel and in my Discord. You do you. That's all we have to say. You do you. Stop picking on each other. Stop being mean to each other. Just let people enjoy what they enjoy without telling them they're wrong because you disagree with it. Very important. Good news. Don't take it personally. I'm making fun of everybody. If you'd come in and said, let Thor touch you, I would have made a joke about Thor touching you. It's nothing personal, my friend.
Yeah, that's just what how we do things. I mean, we just want people to accept everyone to be themselves. Yes. And I mean, see, what's funny to me, what really cracks me up about it, and this is one of the things that I talk about a lot on the shit shows, is you see a person bitching and moaning about how they were treated at work and this, that, and the other, and that they're thinking about quitting. And then you turn around after what they just said, and then you hear them talking exactly like that to someone else. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you just got mad because you said you got treated like that at work, but now you're doing that exact same thing to that person.
It's crazy.
It just doesn't make any sense.
We got to breathe.
So I
We
don't
got to
understand
relax. We have to get rid of all of this negativity and think about we're all humans.
Mm-hmm.
When the attempt on a certain person's life happened a few weeks ago, I had a few friends going, "Oh my God, I can't believe he missed." And I'm like, "Do you understand that you're asking for the death of another human being right now? Maybe you should think about that. Get out of the political sphere. Get out of all your stuff. You are literally asking for the death of a human being. That's evil. That's dark. You know? Maybe we need to dial this hate and rhetoric back a little bit."
Yeah, I started noticing things like that. I was in you know what a space is, right? On X, there's these rooms where people are going in and they have subjects and they talk about it, and people can get a microphone and speak, or they, raise their hand, and they know that the co-host or the host can call them and say, you're up. That's what this is when I say spaces. Well, I was in there, and it was a while back when COVID first started and all that stuff. And then they were trying to get people to take the vaccinations. And then they started separating people by the way they talk, by saying, if you didn't get vaccination, then you want to kill people, that type of stuff. So it was this kind of rhetoric. And I never got a vax. I never got the shot. But I never got mad at people because they got one. And I never got mad because people wanted to wear a mask and I didn't want to wear a mask. You see, I just accepted people. If they wanted to wear a mask, I just said, fine, I won't go near you because I know you seem afraid that I'm going to make you sick or whatever. So I tried not to offend people, whatever. And then they're saying, we're going to put up these camps, build these camps and put all the non-vaxxers in these camps, right? So I was constantly just trying to say, well, that's just mean, it's rude, just let them stay home or whatever, trying not to argue with these people. Then once the stuff started coming out about how the vax didn't help, and all this stuff, it wasn't stopping COVID. Then the same people that used to bitch at the people that would say, you need to go to a camp because you didn't get the jab. So these people weren't jabbed, but they were saying, now let's put all the COVID people in these camps, So basically you have two sides doing the exact same thing, fighting with each other. It's like, what the fuck?
So this is tribalism. This is the nature of tribalism. But
and
Janet, we're going to get you. We've got to be careful. You're talking about stuff that's going to get you another strike, so we can't.
Yeah, I know, but I just don't understand that. That's where I have the hardest time in what's going on right now in the political realm and everything, with just everything, not just politics. But it seems like people can't just look at another person and just say, that's them, that's who they are.
Live and let live does not appear to be part of our modern lexicon.
I don't know. I that's why I said sometimes I feel like I was born in the wrong time or something. I don't belong here sometimes. I always felt like that my whole life.
Or maybe you were born in the right time because you have a message that you're putting out there that people sometimes want to hear.
Maybe. But I don't feel like I'm making any changes or I'm helping. I feel like I've helped a few people because I do talk to a lot of people in my Discord. So I have a one-on-one with them. And, that because I like to do that. If I feel like if they ask me questions, I try to be honest with them and help them find an answer for it if I can, that type of thing. But, I can't do it every day. I'm not a counselor or anything like that, but I can be a friend to people. I try to be that way. But I just wish more people would stop and look at what they're saying and realize that if that person's saying that to you and it hurts your feelings, then why are you doing it right back to them? I just wish people would think about it. And that's why I think the gaming stuff is important, because a person that can sit down and play a game with these other people and work problems out, by talking to each other and coming up with the best solution so we can get through this battle, or we can find food, or we can not freeze to death, or we can build a shelter, all those things. If more people could do that and sit down and play it together with people they don't know, they're going to figure things out. We're going to find answers because you're talking and listening to each other to get different information and make something happen with it. And I wish more people would use that in the real life. You know what I mean?
What a
To me, it's
crazy
smart.
idea. What
And I
a
don't think of that
crazy
smart at
idea.
all. I know, but
Humans
I
are,
really do.
without a doubt. So here's the thing. Yeah, everyone, I had a native friend. We were talking one time, and I said, "Why is it every tribe has some amazing animal as their totem animal? The bald eagle, the gray wolf, the mighty bear, when most of us are just sheep. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Most of us are just sheep. We're just herd animals. The herd freaks out. We all start running in a direction, whether it's good for us or not. We run in that direction." And, it's the way it is. It's the Mavericks that change the direction of time and flow. And the Mavericks never feel like they're born at the right time, Janet. They feel like they're out of place.
But do you feel like that sometimes?
All my life.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, no wonder we're all like come together in a group. It's because you tend to magnitude. You just kind of like you feel the magnet pulling on you. You don't know which way you go, and then all of a sudden you just fly over to the other side because all of a sudden you realize, hey, I fit in here.
We're all
So,
weird,
maybe
man.
that's
It's just finding the freaks that you get along with best.
Yep. Basically, at least that's what that's where I've always struggled to get to, because when I was young growing up, I wanted to do certain things, but I couldn't because we moved all the time. We moved almost
Sure.
every 2 years like clockwork. So as soon as I got to where I felt like I fit in, it was time for me to move and start over again. So maybe that's why I talk so much, because I my whole life I've had to move and meet new people and fit in again, find my way in. And maybe that's why my personality is the way it is. But I don't know. I'm happy to be myself. I'm what my mother made me, and I love my mom, and I thought she was a wonderful person, so she couldn't have done too bad a job. At least that's how I look at it.
You having fun, Janet?
Yeah, I am
You
now.
You
I
enjoying
have
life, Janet?
I've had bad experiences, just like everyone.
Yeah, we've
But
all had them. They're there.
today in my life, in the last couple of years, I feel like I've been enriched. My life's
Okay.
been enriched by the people who I've been able to meet. Yes, I definitely feel that way.
I've learned recently in my life since COVID to treat the past the way the Italians treat a rearview mirror. It doesn't exist. It's behind me. What's ahead of me matters. Where I'm going matters. What I'm doing matters, not what I've done and where I come from. And that's just the way it is. Now, you've found a bunch of people who like hanging out with you, and there you go.
Mm-hmm.
You like hanging out with them? Mazel
Yeah.
tov.
And I think they like hanging out with me because I keep coming around. So I think that's a
Well,
good.
you're pretty up the group. I mean, these are some hard-looking people you're hanging out with. I'll be honest.
Yeah, a few of them. They're kind of tough. But I don't care. I love them. I think they're great. And I'm proud to be friends with all of them.
Good.
And I'm glad I got to meet you. And I've got to meet a lot of you guys. You guys are awesome. I think all of you are great. And I'm thank you for coming on my show tonight and talking about your stuff, your game.
My pleasure.
And hopefully you get a few more people that say, hey, that's pretty interesting. And we'll see what happens. But I've enjoyed getting to hang out with you. And I appreciate you hanging out with me and everybody that showed up in the chat. Thank you for hanging out with us, and everyone at X and everyone on Rumble.
And all the people in my chat, the link is there.
Your chat.
Come over to Janet's channel and give her a sub, please.
Yeah, anybody that's over here, if there's very many, I don't know who they all are.
I see them. They know I know who they are. I see them.
Go over there and say hi to Bear and welcome him. If you think that I'm funny, you guys are really gonna like Bear. He's a sweetheart. I think he's just big and mean, but he's not. He's a sweetheart. I know. I can tell. But thank you so much, and everybody. I know.
Thank you for having me on.
And you said you were a bouncer too, so I know you had to be tough.
I've done my damage. I'm gonna leave it at that. But, thank you for having me on. Thank you for asking me to be here, and thank you to your audience
so much. The thing is that I can't wait to get to spend more time with you guys, just hanging out and just being ourselves. I enjoy it a lot, but I just want to let you know I appreciate it, and I appreciate everybody in the chat. And thank you so much for hanging out with us. And you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And, enjoy your weekend because tomorrow's Friday. And it's a fun day, fun weekend. Talk to you guys later.
Bye now.
Bye.